desk. All right. All right, folks, here we are. Wednesday morning. It is 10 degrees here in Hampstead. Got a microphone, got the speaker on. I think we're all good. We're ready to roll. 2 deliveries, they're both in the van, so we're in good shape. The roads are pretty decent, you're gonna see. They're kind of okay. I got everything going here, here we go. Lights on for safety. So I didn't drive yesterday. Apparently they only had like deliveries were pretty minimal. I think places that weren't even planning to be closed on Monday ended up being closed. So yesterday everybody was kind of catching up. Yeah, see there's a whole missing lane over here. If I make this turn, we really only have 1 lane to turn into. All right, here we go. So here we go. Got my coffee. I got everything's good. So I hope everyone survived the storm. It's been an interesting week so far. I went out yesterday. I had a doctor's appointment, and there were some areas. The thing with the snow right now is that there are places where the plow didn't quite get the entire right-hand lane cleared for whatever reason. You might see an example of that a little bit later. I'm going to go down 795, which is the highway version, and yesterday at least, there was on the exit ramp to get onto the exit ramp to get onto 695 has 2 lanes on it, but when you got closer to the highway, to the exit, it kind of blended into one, like the plow had not completely moved the snow out of the right-hand lane of that exit lane. So I did have somebody next to me who had to kind of lay back and merge over. They were like, I think they thought they were going to pass me, but they ran out of lane. That could happen. So we got stuff like that out here, but otherwise, I mean, it's dry. I like dry because that way you don't have the stuff flying up on the windshield. The road mist. But aside from the temperature, it's okay. I could live without that temperature though. See, when I come up on these, this might not be a good idea to come into this lane, because these are usually the lanes that kind of disappear. But I knew that guy was going to want to pass me, so I think somebody moved the seat. Bob was telling me when he got there yesterday, they had, the parking lot where the van sits overnight. Because he had moved it because he thought he got it out of the way of the plows so that they'd be able to just clear the whole parking lot. So he put it kind of in a spot he thought had already been cleared. Like he went there in the middle of the storm. but they plowed him in anyway. That's the worst part. The snow that you get, like the worst part of shoveling is that area at the end of the driveway where the snow plow has gone past, and you've got like 3 feet of heavy plowed up snow. Kind of have to dig through it like a wall. That's what I was doing Monday. Monday, I didn't do, I think I had said probably on Saturday, I probably said I'm going to go out Sunday and I'm going to shovel in the middle of the snow, keep up with it. I mean, that is normally my plan. But Sunday, it was snowing like all day long. And then in the afternoon, it kind of turned to sleet. Well, I think that's when I went out. I did that walk. That was Sunday. Yeah, so it was kind of like sleeting. And I didn't want to shovel until the sleet finished, because if you shovel and you like clear the spot and then you get sleet on it, it's harder to shovel icy stuff than it is snow. So I waited, and I think that was the better move this time. Probably could have gone either way, but there was a crust. So when you were digging out the snow, like the snow was probably, let's just say 8 inches deep. I think people were saying 8 to 10, but let's just stick with 8. So you've just got to break through like an inch or two of kind of crusty stuff. And then when you were shoveling, the snow underneath was like powder. So it was like nothing. So once you got through the crust, you were good to go. Actually, the crust is so thick now. Of course, it's been 2 days. So when AJ goes out to go to the bathroom, he actually walks on top of the ice. Like his feet don't even break through. Yesterday, he kind of like, or Monday, no, it was yesterday. Yesterday was Tuesday. So late Monday, he would walk around and kind of like every now and then his foot would break through the ice. But now it doesn't even do that. So he just walks around. And it's funny because like when he squats to go to the bathroom, number 2, when he squats to do that, I've seen him like, he's got to like, his feet want to like slide out to the sides. It's kind of funny. He struggles a little bit with that, but he manages. But it is kind of funny watching him. And it just lays on top of the ice. I have not gone back to clear his debris. So there's just a few little, and it's kind of funny looking. But yeah, I'm pretty much like, I'm good. We've had enough snow now. I'm pretty happy with the year. This was that one big snowfall everybody wants to have. Now it's done, so let's move on. Warmer weather. According to the weather forecast, I think the next 5 days or so, we're still below freezing, but I think it's February the 2nd now is the first day when I see that. The way the weather forecast that I look at online has like a line that goes across if you look at the 10-day forecast of where the temperature is. And the first time it hits freezing, above freezing, or right at freezing. I don't know that it's great much above. But the first day it hits that is February the 2nd. And then it kind of stays there, kind of up and down, but the highs for the following days there are all close to the 32 degree point. And it looked like most of them are they're couple of them say there's going to be snow, but then when you look at the percentage, look, this guy, what a jackass. I got this guy like coming up next to me in the right-hand lane like he's going to pass me. Anyway, I'm sorry. If I cursed there, I'm sorry. Wait a minute, I didn't hear that. Somebody typed something, I didn't hear it. What is going on here? I don't think my speaker was on. Speakers on again. I think somebody typed a message, but I didn't see it until just now, and I didn't hear it. So I'm thinking my speaker wasn't properly connected. Hopefully it is now. I wonder what animals do. Like, it's got to be cold for animals, you know? How cold can it get before, like, deer start to be affected by it? You know what I mean? Yeah, so Monday when I was shoveling, probably went out for about an hour at a time, maybe 3 times like that. So after an hour, your hands start to get cold. It's a lot of digging. I don't have a super long driveway. It was just bad. I got a sidewalk that goes across the front of the yard. Another sidewalk that goes up at the front door. Dig out around the car. Clean the car off. It's a lot. It's like several steps you have to go through. Oh, I had a weird dream last night. I dream, not a lot, but every now and then, I do wake up and realize I had a dream. I mean, I think I probably dream all the time, but, you know, it has to be right before you wake up. So I guess today was one of those days. And I never really remember the whole dream, but the parts I do remember on this one, it was weird. I was with like a small group of us, like maybe 8 or 10 people I knew, and my 2 brothers. Both of my brothers were there. My older brother, who's 10 years older than me, and my younger brother, who is 16 months younger. So I'm in the middle. But we were all there. The three of us were in this group, plus some other people. I'll withhold names to protect the innocent. But so we're like, I think we were walking. Like there might have been bicycles involved, but I'm pretty sure most of the time we were walking, and we were like traveling, I presume west, considering the fact that we live on the East Coast. I think we were probably traveling west, walking, and we were like in this open kind of like in the one part that I particularly remember. We're like in this maybe like farmland, but flat, very flat farmland type of thing, and we were kind of like camping. I mean, we were all kind of sitting around, not doing anything, and then we heard noises off in the distance, and so we were like, okay, well, we better move. Like, I almost like some kind of weird apocalypse survival thing, but it wasn't. I mean, it did. I don't know. I don't know why we were doing this, but so we started walking again, and next thing you know, we're like sort of at a dock, like like I don't know where the water came from, but we're like sort of at this dock, and we're going to get on this boat, and it's not like a cruise ship boat, but sort of like a big sailboat, like the kind. Have you ever been to like an old sailboat museum kind of thing, right? Where it's like this big old, like we have the Constellation in Baltimore's Inner Harbor. It's like that kind of thing, like a big, like basically I knew that when we were getting on, it was going to be kind of like, historical stuff to look at, and probably a gift shop, like that kind of thing, that kind of place. So we're getting on the boat. I mean, we're getting close to the end, so there's nothing really exciting about the stream. I don't want to get anybody too excited. Basically, we're getting on the boat, and we walk up this really steep set of steps, like almost a ladder. It wasn't really a stairway. It was like ladder going up the side, and we through this door, like a glass sliding door thing, and I walk in, and it was just weird. It was a weird thing. But then we were in this section, like before you get to the, so now we're in the back of the boat, and they had another set of doors, but those were closed. We couldn't get in yet because there were, they could only have so many people. There was a capacity of, a certain number of people, and they couldn't let anybody else in yet. So we're like standing there waiting to get in. Like, if anybody has any idea what that dream might mean, please let me know in the comments. Because I'm confused about that one. And that's where it ended. I woke up. So I didn't get to see the boat. I don't understand what was going on. And the other thing that was a little unusual about it is, like, because my older brother, being 10 years older, right, meant that, like, growing up, like, going out and doing that whole riding our bikes around and exploring and stuff, I did that with my younger brother because we were like, 16 months apart, so we're pretty close. But when your older brother is like, like when you're 7, 8, 9, 10, and your older brother is 17, 18, 19, like, that's a whole different kind of thing. You're not 6 miles, 6 minutes. So that's a whole different, like an 18-year-old isn't going to be like hanging out, running around the neighborhood with their 8-year-old and 7-year-old brothers. You know what I mean? So it just, that part of it was kind of unusual. I remember thinking that at one point. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, we're all three of us are here. Usually it took me back to my youth. So there you go. I don't know what that meant. But I do like to dream. I like to dream. I think it's kind of cool. And if I have a dream like that, now I didn't do it today, because I usually like to sit down and actually take some time to do it. But I like to write down. If I have a dream that I think is kind of cool and I want to remember it, I write it down, because for whatever reason, dreams, I don't remember dreams very well for an extended period of time. I have to get it while it's fresh. All right, so far this, and this was clear yesterday. So this was all part of when I had to go to the doctor yesterday, I was on this highway, and it was fine. It's pretty dry, so I don't think we're gonna have like freezing, but it does have some bridges on it that can be a problem. Actually, we've seen cars that have slid off into the left side of the road. I think we've seen them a couple times on this live stream, as long as I've been doing this live stream. I've got it. There's somebody in the left-hand lane a little bit behind me that isn't going fast enough to be in the left-hand lane. Oh, here he goes, speeding up now. And there he goes. And so I think that person has held up. Watch this. This guy's going to, there you go. See, now we're down. As we get down here, closer to the city, it is now 15 degrees. So we are really warming up. And we're slowing up. Warming up and slowing up. Now this is the area yesterday, so I'm going to get in the left-hand lane in a second, because this is the ramp where two lanes are going off toward Towson, which is kind of going to the west. What does that do? It's going to the east. Yeah, it's going to the east. This lane, that right-hand lane, yesterday at least, kind of disappeared before we get to 695. Now it looks like they worked on it yesterday, because see how there's no snow over there now? Like there was snow all piled up on there yesterday. So they probably came out here with more equipment and cleared it off. Yeah, it's cleared. That whole side there was over. So like right here, no, it kind of does it. See that? It disappears right there, right? Like so there for a second, you can't be in that lane. And that's where this guy thought he was going to pass me yesterday. Yeah, I don't think they really cleared that off the way that. It's because the temperatures are not, even during the day, even with sun during the day, it's not really melting at all. I also think in some intersections, the weight of the snow. What's that guy doing over there? See this guy on the bridge over there? The weight of the snow throws the traffic light signals off. What is that guy doing? Now he's going the wrong way. That's bizarre. See, this is a bridge, so it's very possible that. See, anyways. We're gonna ride over in the left-hand lane. I think this is a better bet today. At the end of my driveway is actually snow. Yeah, something's wrong with my audio. Somebody else heard something. I'm gonna look at that when we're almost to Lenny's. I bet you it's not, the Bluetooth isn't connected to that speaker properly. It's my guess. Look at that one Prius. Remember that white Prius that used to be sitting here all the time? Gone. I hear you. All right. There's a big pile of snow there. All right, let me see something. I gotta pull this off here for a second. We can't hear you. It's a little crunchy. Everybody's crunchy. I wonder if. Well, I can't hear you at all, so we're going to check that out right now. Hold on. Let's go look at the Bluetooth connections. What is it doing? JV. Connection. It says it's connected. I got volume. I don't understand that. Like it's connected, so I don't understand why that audio is not working. And hopefully maybe I just have this too low on my shirt. That's probably what that is. Okay, I'm not going to turn the van on today. We're going to risk it. Let's do this. Let's make this delivery happen. There's anybody in there? I may have to call them. People. One of these days I'm going to break the window. All right, let me call him. Let's call. freezes underneath all that snow. I was able to read that text. That's funny. It's possible. It could fit under there, I think. You're right. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. I like that idea. All right, hold on a minute. I got to call them. God, I wish the speaker would work. Anyway. Oh, how stupid. It'll work now. I know what it was. I'm out of sync. See, I take a few days off and I'm completely stupid. I didn't have the application on that turns the text to speech. It wasn't the speaker at all. Anyway, let me call these folks. Lenny's. Have I called Lenny's recently? No. So I gotta find them in here. Google contacts. Search. Lenny's. Where is it? There we go. Lenny's delicatessen. There it is right there. All right, she's coming to get me now. We're making progress. Hey there, how are you?
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Do you know if there's a check in there?
I don't know.
Bob asked me to check.
Give me 1 second.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Danish! They're really not getting very much today. Oh, look, I don't have to yell. That was stupid. I'm thinking you're hearing me from the phone. I apologize for yelling like a crazy person when you're actually right here. I haven't got used to that. The microphone idea, you know what I mean? Okay. You know what I think is kind of funny too? I'm wearing these supposedly skid or slippery resistant. Got one? Thank you. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm wearing these shoes that are supposed to be resistant to slipping, but like maybe it works on grease, but it certainly doesn't work on ice or snow. I guess that would be asking too much, you know what I mean? We got a check. I think I'm getting a check from both places today, so this is going to be a good day. All right, that's there. Okay. Got my trays, got my check. All good. Okay. All right, so let's just recap here. I think we have a speaker working now. Got my music on. The window is not as clear. Let me see if I can clean this without making a mess. I don't want to spray anything on there because I'm afraid it'll freeze. How's that? Is it changing anything? Not really, right? Maybe a little. You know, if I spray something on there, it's going to freeze. Oh, I think it's doing something. Oh, muscle on this, you know what I'm saying? Get okay. I think that's good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. No, I'm not. There we go. Okay. Done. All right, now we've been on some major roads. I haven't been on anything like the roads we're about to get on now. All right, I think I'm trying to make sure that my mic is not getting bumped around by the seatbelt and stuff like that. I think we're in a good spot. Okay. Music. I need some soothing here. Where's the music? What's going on? Oh, yeah, I got music. Okay. Here we go. Cool. It's kind of like here we go. I will say there are some cars over there in the parking lot by the gym, so there's that. I mean, it's not as crowded as it was last week. Yeah, now see, we're going to make this turn, but look at that road. That is icy. Icy. It's impressive. There were a decent number of people at the gym over there. You couldn't see it. It was on the other side of that snow pile, but They were there.
Asmore 9192 says me good morning Craig, everybody.
Good morning. Phew, I finally got the, you want to hear something stupid? So I wasn't hearing the text earlier. So you're the first person I've actually heard. But I saw like a message pop up and I'm like, well, that's weird. I didn't hear it. So I thought it was the speaker. I turned the speaker on and off. Didn't seem to help. The whole time I had forgotten when I first started to turn the application on that reads the text. So like the speaker was fine all along. Problem was I didn't follow my step-by-step procedure to get the speaker, to get the text turned on. It's a little chilly here. 12 degrees now. 12 degrees. See, they plowed these roads, but they really just did it right up to the, you know, they didn't overdo it, you know. You have no side to the road at all. Not bad though. Not bad. It's clear.
Cat.cs2 says you took too many days off. That's why. 12 degrees. I'm shivering for you.
Yeah. It's chilly. The weird thing is, I guess, it didn't feel that awful. I mean, maybe when you've been out, it's been 7. If it's been below 10 and then it gets, I don't know if it really feels any different. Like, do you really feel any different? Any difference at all between 10 degrees and 0? It's, once you get to a certain point of cold, I don't know if it really makes any difference. Now, see, like this type of thing, you can't really use the right-hand lane. This happens a lot.
Cat.cs2 says, yeah, I guess frozen is frozen law.
Yeah, because at some point you just lose feeling. If you can't feel, you can't feel. Whoa. All right, we're going to do this. Blasting out. Oops. Let's try to stay on the right side of the road.
Cat.cs2 says, is the roadie icy?
There are areas, yeah. Like that section we just drove through a minute ago, a second ago, was icy. But then you have like this is pretty dry, but you gotta really kind of keep an eye on. I think the most dangerous thing right now are the lanes that disappear. You know, like you're driving along, like those two cars right there, and all of a sudden the right-hand lane hasn't been plowed. So they run out of the lane, and that can happen pretty quickly.
6448 says, you're colder than me. It's 18 degrees here.
Oh, 18. I wish. But see, that's what I mean. I don't think there'd be a big difference. I think 18 is, once you get below 20, that's where you get into that, like, what's the difference stage. Just got to get through this week. It's going to be a week, challenging week. I kind of picture it. I think I said this once before, maybe. If I didn't, I at least went through my head. I kind of look at it like it's an obstacle course, you know? We're on this, life is an obstacle course.
Pulse Adventures 4261 says 4 degrees here.
4! Ooh, that's not good. Yeah, single digits, not good. Not good. I mean, really, like, if you get caught, you know, outside for some reason, that can be very dangerous. And normally,
Plus 6448 says it's all what's the difference. I
yeah,
want 50s and 60s.
yeah, me too. Me too. 50s and 60s.
Cat.cs2 says wow, I'm sorry, at Hall is 6448 at Michael's Adventures 4261.
4 degrees. Yeah, 50s, 60s, that would be good. One more, I don't remember if it was Monday morning or yesterday morning. I was watching, because early in the morning there's this guy that does the live streams from Disney World. And sometimes I just like to watch that because he's walking around. Actually, he gets there before they open, so this is like super early. And he was all excited because there was some water on the ground somewhere that was frozen. So in Orlando, that is a big deal, right? He's like, oh, this is frozen, and he's kind of like walking over to it, sliding across it and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that's not fun. But for it to be that cold down there,
Plus 6448 says good morning at Justicat.
that's all about construction. Still doing the construction. They're building to the left. I saw that truck, but they're building a new.
Cat.cs2 says hope you're keeping warm, holla.
I don't know what school that's going to be. I don't know if it's a high school. I think it's a high school they're building. Whoa, people. Jeez. I don't know how close we were to that car that just went by, but it was not comfortable. Our roads are cleared pretty good. I was amazed. There were a couple of neighborhoods that John was driving through yesterday where if you've got ice on the road when you're coming up to a stop
sign. My bed is very warm. Sorry, Craig and anyone else who's out there already.
Yeah, beds are hard to get out of bed on a really cold morning. I have AJ who knows that it's time to eat when we get up, so I don't usually have, not usually able to spend a lot of time laying in bed because he'll start jumping up, sitting right next to my head, looking at me and stuff. Yeah, see, this road right here is pretty slick. And look at to the left of us right now. That's not a good spot right there. Like if somebody's coming into this road, what are you doing? First, it's very thin. Secondly, it's covered with ice. I don't know why that guy sat there for so long. I was worried that that guy that was making the turn into our road was going to hit that ice and slide over. Didn't happen though. It's all good. Did any of you watch Kendra's Consume the Goodness fitness live stream last night? I got exhausted just watching her. I don't know the name of the game that she was playing or the video. I guess it's like a video game. But like it takes you through a workout, and it was really, I've never seen anything like that. I mean, I've kind of seen short clips of what's possible, but to actually watch somebody do it, I've never seen the whole workout kind of thing. It put her through a pretty serious workout.
Jones 5862 says, "Morning, Craig."
Good morning. Happy Wednesday.
6448 says, "Yes, I did."
I mean, did you get as tired as me? I felt like I was starting to sweat just watching her. She was very good at...
5862 says, "Hi, holla." At justacat.cs2 says, "I'm sorry I missed it. I was working."
You can probably catch the replay. I mean, she was extremely good at the, what do you call them, like knee raises, I think is what it was called. Wow.
6448 says exactly what I was going to say. I've never seen it either.
It was impressive.
Jones 5862 says, "Hi, just a cat." Justacat.cs2 says, "Good morning, Reed." At Hollis 6448 says, "Good morning at Reed Jones."
Sawyer, were you here for my my dream story? I had a dream last night. I feel like I feel like Martin Luther King. I have a dream. Realistic, but I don't understand what it was trying to tell me.
Cat.cs2 says yes lol. Craycray my laugh.
Here, okay.
Alice6448 says, was the dream that you were making deliveries in frozen weather on icy roads?
No, it wasn't that. I could see that happening, but no, it was so weird. I was like with this small group of people, which did include my two brothers. So it was, I have two brothers. One that's older, one that's younger. I'm the middle, and so they were with me, but it was also about maybe 8 other people.
Cat.cs2 says he was on bicycle with his brothers.
I don't know about I think we were on bikes at some point, but when we got on the boat, I think we walked to the boat.
Cat.cs2 says 8 people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you were paying attention. Sawyer was paying attention. Were you keeping notes? I just want to know, like, does that mean something? Like, if you're in a dream and you get on a boat, does that mean something? I don't know. Maybe it means you're thirsty. I don't know. Maybe it means you want to explore. I don't know. Oh, this is pretty well plowed. This road looks pretty good.
Cat.cs2 says it means boat trip. At Hollis6448 says, well, there are 7 of us here now.
Wow. I appreciate you guys watching.
Jones5862 says interesting. At Justicat.cs2 says lol. Hollis6448 says,
Like, we have one down in the Inner Harbor at Baltimore. They have the Constellation, like the Mayflower, like that kind of ship. Maybe I need to go on a pilgrimage with my brothers. I don't think they'd go in for it, though. And the boat had a gift shop. I know for certain because that we couldn't get into the gift shop. There were too many people in there.
Sticat.cs2 says that's the Twinkie Dink Holla. At Holla6448 says I haven't been to the Inner Harbor in years, like over 20 years.
Yeah, I I've been there, but from what I understand, they're actually going to tear down those two pavilions. You know, they opened up like back in the 80s. I think they opened up in 1980 actually. And it was a big deal. I was just reading something about that recently. Like when the Inner Harbor in Baltimore opened up, this is hard to believe because the city of Baltimore is kind of, it's been in a little bit of a decline. But when they opened those two, you know, the whole Inner Harbor area, I don't remember if it was like 1 year, 2 years, but there were a couple of years where the attendance at the Inner Harbor was higher than the attendance at Disney World. I think was shocked to hear that.
Holla6448 says my dad used to work in that area. He worked on ships.
Yeah.
Jones5862 says wow.
But it's very sad. I haven't been down there. I haven't been down there either for a long time. But I think they're tearing it down. It's we got another car here now. Let's see if they open the door without me having to call them. That's always the question here. But yeah, I might go down there. I might try to go down. I think they said in the fall.
6448 says I believe it. It was nice. The restaurants, clubs, aquarium, it was a fun place to visit.
Yeah, it's really sad that they moved most of the development has kind of moved over to the, I don't know what you'd call it, maybe the east side of the city, like where Morgan Stanley built a big operation down there, got the hotels and all, like Fells Point, over toward that direction. They put a lot of money in that, but I think they're going to try to redevelop the Inner Harbor. I hope they do something. I might go down there though and take some videos before they tear it down. And I didn't realize that originally they tried to fill those pavilions, like the shops and the food court and all that kind of stuff. They tried to fill it with local establishments. And then as time went on and some of those places, closed up and they moved into more like national brands.
6448 says before they built it, it was a rundown area.
Oh yeah, that's true. It was really bad. It was. That's all right. I'm gonna call. All right, bear with me 1 second. When I'm making this phone call, it will probably drop the audio for you, but let's see. What a day cafe. All right, he's coming out. He's gonna come out. I should be back. Oh, I got the microphone on. I can walk over there.
Paula 6448 says that would make
morning.
interesting content. I'd like to see it for sure.
Yeah, I think it would be cool. I don't think you can get in any of the buildings anymore, but at least to walk around. All right, let me get there. Got to get the rack. Good morning. I'm gonna check in here too. Yeah.
Says people like to see what areas look like now or abandoned stuff that they remember.
Yeah, old malls. That's a really, I mean, most malls, even the ones that are like still open, but they just have, you know, one or two stores in them. That's always kind of fun to walk around in. But it's also a little sad. I gotta admit, I get a little sad when this.
PS2 says yes, good watch.
Need snow tires on this rack. Yeah, not really. Guys, morning. Oh. All right.
Grab the check.
I did. I got it. Thank you. Have a good one. That was his car. I thought that's where the guy that's parked back here, he's the one that owns that restaurant. He's not normally here when I get here, but I'm sure they got people. All right, let's do one more thing here real quick. Yeah, I think the Inner Harbor would be cool. There's a couple places that would be fun to walk through. Man, malls went in their heyday, though. That was what'd you call that? Era? The malls? The era of the malls. These trees, man. So much black gook on your hands from these things. All right. Good, good, good. Deliveries are done. Deliveries are done. Back to the bakery we go. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Oh, you know what? I didn't close the door. That was stupid. I walked out and didn't close the door. Hold on.
Jones 5862 says, are you doing a bread route?
We're doing a bread route. Well, you know what? We actually, it's a donut route is what it is. Donuts, Danish, eclairs, cake, cookies, croissants.
Cat.cs2 says, I think Danishes.
Yeah, we got Danish. We got croissants. We got mini Danishes, large Danishes. Well, we don't have many more. They're not in the van anymore. All right, let's see. Make sure. Gotta watch the drive-through here because it goes.
Jones 5862 says, oh, okay, nice.
Cheese Danish is one of my favorite things that they make.
Plus 6448 says, sounds delicious.
I like eclairs, but well, we do have mini eclairs too. I was going to say they're kind of big, but you can get a mini. A mini. It's very difficult not to, like, you know, in a bakery they've got like tubs of cookie dough and all this stuff that they make up. It's interesting when you're in there. I mean, like, I had no idea how bakeries work.
Plus 6448 says, but I am sure that bakery smell is still in the van.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is kind of crazy. I guess they're like, you know, the 5-gallon buckets that you can buy like at Home Depot and stuff. Well, they're buckets about that size that they fill with, you know, cookie dough or chocolate icing or cream cheese. You know, it's crazy. You wouldn't believe how much stuff they go through. It's crazy. But I still, when I see a big tub like that of cookie dough or even cake batter, you know, like, I've always been
Plus 6448
the one
says,
eating.
yes,
I eat stuff like that. Like, I'll eat it just like that. Like, even when I was a kid, I would sit there and
Jones 5862 says, right.
I would eat I would clean up the bowls that my mom was making cookies, cake, whatever. I don't even see the purpose in baking a cake, just eat the dough. No, not really. It's not that bad. but it is hard. Like today, I'm going to be, after I make the deliveries, I'm going to stick around there and kind of help them. Probably be back with the dishes, right? So I'll be back there. When they bring one of these tubs back that they've just emptied with cookie dough, there's a little cookie dough still in it, you know what I mean?
Square ones. They are good for container planting.
It's very hard. Like sometimes I've never been a big gum chewer, but I do sometimes have a piece of gum with me because I don't want to, give in to the temptation of eating stuff in the bakery. Because that would just be very problematic for me. It's easier for me to just say, no, I'm not going to eat anything, than to like nibble here and there. And the rule in the bakery is you can eat anything you want. Like you could just, grab whatever you want. You can eat it. That's a bad rule for me. That's how it was actually at Gino's. I used to work at Gino's, if anybody remembers. Gino's was like a fast food restaurant. We had them in Maryland. I think they went up into Pennsylvania, maybe New Jersey. It was definitely an East Coast thing. But they were like McDonald's. They were kind of in that category. And I worked at Gino's this was my first job. Loved it. But we were able to eat anything we wanted. But we also made, Gino's had...
Plus 6448 says that's a good rule. I like that rule.
With the not eating rule. It's easier. It's easier. So that was like burgers, fries, stuff like that. And then we had this associated with Gino's was Kentucky Fried Chicken. They didn't have their own stores back when I was working at Gino's. So like you could go to Gino's and get Kentucky Fried Chicken. You weren't really it wasn't like separate stores. It was just one of the products that we sold. So we would, the whole thing. You get a bucket of chicken, you get the whole chicken meal kind of thing. But they had regular and extra crispy, and that was another big deal. Like you could, after you cooked the extra crispy chicken, like some of that crispy stuff would have fallen off and it would be in the pan. That was a big hit. People like to eat the crispy stuff. Cooking the chicken was my least favorite part of that job, though. Like, I didn't mind the fries, didn't mind the burgers, but chicken was like, you had to bread it, you had to stick it in the fryer. It was a lot of work. Gino's was purchased by Marriott, and Marriott owned Roy Rogers. So
6448 says I used to work on hot dog carts as a kid. Hot dogs, ice cream, pretzels, and sodas. Same rule, eat as much as you want.
that's pretty cool. So you were outside. You were like one of those carts that's on the street. That's pretty cool.
eat hot dogs.
Yeah, I get. Did you eat a lot of hot dogs while you were working there? I don't eat a lot of hot dogs either. Like I do. I like hot dogs, but I don't eat them very often.
6448 says yes, but I was really young, like grade school age.
So you were working, were you helping there or were you running the cart? At that age, were you actually like, customers were coming up and getting, and like you were doing the whole thing? You were like doing lemonade stands, but at a higher level. I didn't start working at Gino's. My first job, I didn't start until I was 16. And I basically started working because on my 16th birthday, I got my driver's license. I couldn't wait to drive. And my mom said I could use the car. She had just purchased a new car, but she still had her old one. It was a 1968 Galaxy 500. And she said I could drive that car. And I think she was helping me with she said she'd help me with insurance. Although I don't think I ever really needed her to help me with insurance. But she said she'd help me with insurance, but I had to like pay for my own gas and stuff like that. Maybe I had to pay for my own insurance. Yeah, I don't remember her ever paying for that. But anyway, so that was the rule. So as long as I could pay for my own gas and cover expenses on the car, then I could drive. So, of course, I had to get a job. I wasn't not going to drive. So, yeah, started working. Now, my birthday is in August, and I didn't start working at Gino's until November the 2nd. No, that's not true. Not November the 2nd. That was my first day at another job. Gino's, I started the weekend after Thanksgiving.
6448 says helping with another older person who ran it. But yes, we did serve customers.
That's cool. Look, these people, it's very icy back there. I don't know if this car knows he's not going to be able to stop behind me. There we go. I was just trying to get prepared, swerve off to the left if this guy didn't stop, but he did. No, I started at Gino's after Thanksgiving. It was like the weekend after Thanksgiving. And I pretty much worked every weekend. And some evenings.
Paula 6448 says good defensive driving move.
Yeah. Well, as we were coming up on that light, I'm like, wait a minute. It was definitely slick. I could feel even this van was sliding a little bit. See, that's the worst place to have ice. Oh, I was starting to say that about watching John last night. Or yesterday. He had some neighborhoods where when he was coming up to the intersection and the stop sign, that was where the road was kind of the worst. It was like all this ice and stuff. I'm like, that's... You see you sliding right out into the traffic. I worked at Geno's for like 3 years, 3 or 4. Like at some point, I thought I was going to be a manager at Geno's. Started working my way, like I don't remember exactly what the title was, but something like a crew chief or something like that, where I could open the store, close out registers, stuff like that. But then they were purchased by, like I was saying, Marriott bought them, and Marriott owned Roy Rogers, so they turned most of the Geno's restaurants into Roy Rogers.
6448 says yes, always by the intersections, but it's crazy to me they don't treat the roads there as ice forms.
I know, it's the worst spot. They'd lay it on pretty thick right there. We got one of the green lights is out. We got a bulb out. That is a very clean edge on that snowplow. Like,
At Holla 6448 says, do you have Roy Rogers there by you?
I don't know if we still have Roy Rogers. Did Roy Rogers stay? I can't think of a Roy Rogers anymore. At least that, the
Stacat.cs2 says the driver bulb now.
I don't know if there is a Roy Rogers. I can think of one, but I don't know if it's still associated with like that chain. I don't know if that chain is still around. I guess it might be. But I didn't last very long at Roy Rogers. Basically what happened was I was like, I love Geno's. Geno's loved me. We were like doing great. And then, the store shut down when they were switching it over from Geno's to Roy Rogers. I don't remember how long, maybe a month or something. And we all had to be like rehired, trained, and all that kind of stuff. So we did that. And I was going to be like a crew chief or something. But Roy Rogers had this rule where anybody in supervisor, manager kind of role, the employees had to call them, Mr. or Mrs.
6448 says I found out they still have a few in New Jersey. I want to go and visit, maybe make a video.
Of Roy Rogers? I liked the food wasn't bad. They had good roast beef sandwiches and stuff. Kind of like Arby's, right? It was kind of like, I liked the roast beef. But I didn't stay there very long. I had been working, all the people in the store were people I had worked with for like years, a couple years. They were supposed to call me by my, Mr.
6448 says I think the traffic light at Justicat.
It was the traffic light.
Cat.cs2 says who okay Ty Holla.
This road's pretty clear.
Paula6448 says the Double R Burger and Fixings Bar. Everyone remembers fondly.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. Remember salad bars? Like they don't. Do they really? Do they still have salad bars anywhere? Pretty sure COVID killed the salad bar. I can only think of one salad bar, and that's at a grocery store that I go to. We had a salad bar. Gino's, we had a salad bar. Remember that? And next to the Gino's was what was it called? Rustler? I think it was called Rustler. It was a steakhouse. They were associated with Gino's somehow, and they were right next to us. And sometimes we would trade food with them. Like they wanted a burger, and we wanted a steak. I think we got the better end of that deal. But they would sometimes, especially at night, with the night crew, we'd make a deal with the people at Rustler's, trade food.
Adventures 4261 says happy hump day. At justacat.cs2 says the chart house here have a salad bar. I had it for my birthday. At Hala6448 says yes, COVID killed a lot of buffets in general, but there are still some around.
I remember salad bars before they even had sneeze guards. The early days. Before we learned that you should probably put a sneeze guard over it. We were living on the edge back then. They're building a Raising Cane. Raising Canes? Is that how it's
6448 says remember Hughes Ruckers. That was by the Inner Harbor.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. Wide open, snowy fields here.
Hala6448 says happy late birthday at Justacat.
Salad bar on your birthday. That's a good thing. Is it an all-you-can-eat salad bar?
Cat.cs2 says thank you so much at Hala 6448. Hala 6448 says don't know how to spell that. Cat.cs2 says yeah all you can eat. So
Yeah.
good.
I like an all-you-can-eat salad bar. Or like we used to have this buffet. They've closed, but we used to have this Chinese place that had all their food out in sort of that salad bar buffet style, and you know everything's. But they had all the heated food there too. What was it called? I think it was called the Hibachi Grill. And that was an all-you-can-eat kind of thing. I don't know if that truck has its lights on. It seems very dark. I see lights ahead of it though. It's just the taillights that are out.
Paula 6448 says people usually like all you can eat anything.
That's true. But you know, it sounds like an amazing thing, but you can only eat so much.
Justicat.cs2 says right at Paula 6448.
The one thing I like about the buffets is that you can, it's almost like Thanksgiving. You can get like a little bit of a lot of different things. Yeah, it's coming up. I think we're going to be sunny here until around noon, and then it's going to get just cloudy. It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day, no matter what they say. Sun is shining down on us. Anybody know that song? I didn't do it justice. I sing that song to my dog every morning. The song actually says, I'm going to have a good day, but...
Justicat.cs2 says only eat till you hit the food coma. Y'all looks like a bright sun happy day.
I think so. I saw a field yesterday when it was actually in Towson, Maryland, which is like north of the city, but
6448 says I can't eat as much as I used to, but yes, it's good to fry stuff.
There was a field, a hill, and there were, it had to be 50 people, maybe more, sledding, like all these. There wasn't a place to pull it. If there was a place I could have pulled over and taken some videos of it, I would have, but I think the only way to get there would be to pull in and go up to the top of the hill. And then I'm like, well, then I wouldn't be able to take a video from the bottom. Unless I walked all the way around, which didn't look practical, but it was kind of cool. There were a lot of people sledding yesterday. It's very hard. There's a crust on the top of this snow, though. So I could see that it would actually be good for sledding because you'd probably slide right across the top. It would be you'd go pretty fast.
Paula 6448 says I do know that song. I have a short using it. On the beach with a rainbow.
Oh, do you really? I have to check that out. All right, folks. Well, we are almost back to the bakery. There's a big mounds of snow. Here we are. Do I want to go? You know what? I'm going to park over here and take the tray. Take the trays in. All right, guys. Well, I will end the stream here. It was good.
6448 says, is that your regular route?
That is my
Or
reg.
it varies?
That's the most common. It varies a little bit throughout, but that's the most common circle.
CS2 says, I sub at Hollis 6448 going to watch them all one after this.
All right, everybody. Well, I'm gonna end the stream now, so I can get in there and take these trays in and get started in there. But it was good seeing everybody. I hope you all have a great day. I'll be back. Normally, I'm not driving on Thursdays, but I think I am driving tomorrow. So I'll be back tomorrow, and it'll be a similar route.
Stocat.cs2 says, have a good day, Craig. Holla at Michael's Adventures 4261.
All right, folks. Have a good one. I will chat with you all later. See you on John's. If he's on later, probably see some of you. Talk to you.
6448 says, thanks at Justicat.